Hey guys, today we'll be covering a 2022 romance miniseries called Campus Ace. One morning, a college student named Tong Momo is on her way to the university with her best friend Xiao. They accidentally bump into an incident by the swimming pool. A popular and rich guy named Yao is bullying a student by making him jump into the water. Momo is not someone who tolerates bullies like him, so she asks Xiao to film the interaction and pushes him into the pool as punishment. The video is shared on the internet the next day, and everyone gets a laugh out of it. Yao is humiliated and wants revenge on Momo. He even gets a threatening call from the university's chairman, but is let off the hook because of his father's influence. On the other hand, the girls who have a crush on him are irritated by the video. They are ready to do anything to teach Momo a lesson. The leader of the group is Feifei, a delusional fangirl who believes that Yao will fall for her someday. She and her minions approach Momo and dump a tub of noodles on her head, threatening her to stay away from their beloved Yao. Upon returning to her room, Momo finds Xiao waiting for her. It turns out that she was added to a group chat where Feifei is planning to prank Momo the next day. Now that she knows what the bullies are planning to do, she decides to outsmart them. The next day during recess, Feifei and her minions get ready with water balloons to drop them on Momo, but Momo tricks Yao into being their target. The prank doesn't go as planned when both Momo and Yao end up getting wet and sharing an accidental forehead kiss. The video of the prank also makes it to the internet and they become the talk of the town. Many people ship Yao and Momo and want them to get together, much to Feifei's annoyance. Later, she goes to talk with Yao to align him against Momo, but he dismisses her. Furious because of his nonchalance, Feifei unleashes her anger on Momo and tears up a project she was working on. Momo's major is fashion design, and she desperately wants to take part in an internship at a place called Mue. However, the work Feifei destroyed was the work she was about to submit for consideration. With it gone, she has to work extra hours to get back on track. That day, she leaves college at 10 p.m. While walking down the road, she feels like someone is stalking her. Her suspicion turns out to be true when she is stopped by a stranger. He shows pictures of herself and confesses his love. When Momo doesn't reciprocate his feelings, he attacks her. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Yao arrives and teaches the stalker a lesson. He then brings Momo to the university's infirmary and helps her clean the wound. While he is at it, Yao notices that she can't tell the difference between the red and blue ointments. He further checks her vision and finds out that she is colorblind. Momo has been keeping it a secret because a colorblind person will never be selected in a fashion house. Yao takes advantage of the situation and blackmails her into providing all of his meals from now on. His father has stopped giving him an allowance, hence he wants her to buy him food. If she refuses, he will tell everyone about her disability. By the time they are done talking, it is already past 11, which means Momo can't return to the hostel. Yao senses that she is too scared to stay in the infirmary alone, so he makes up an excuse to stay with her for the night. He even lends her his jacket so she won't be cold. By the end of the night, Momo realizes that he is not as bad as she thought he was. The following day during lunch, Momo is tasked to feed Yao as per their deal. She discovers that he cannot handle spices and makes a point of buying the spiciest meal on the menu. Still, Yao surprises everyone by finishing the entire plate because he doesn't want to seem weak. Starting that day, whenever Yao faces any minor inconvenience, he texts Momo. He makes her buy several meals, pick up his parcels, and even apply sunscreen on him so he won't get a sunburn. Feifei watches them spending time with each other and is furious. Moreover, Yao's friends add fuel to the fire by declaring that he will never love someone like her. In a fit of rage, Feifei destroys everyone's project in Momo's class except hers. Since Momo's project is the only one intact, the blame falls upon her and an investigation is held. She tries to argue that she wouldn't stoop down to that level for competition. However, she is made to clean up the mess that she isn't responsible for. A while later, Momo is approached by her old friend Ren, who saves her from running into traffic. Yao sees them together and is filled with jealousy. He instantly thinks of Ren as a rival and offers to help Momo clean up the mess in the classroom. With everyone's help, they are able to complete the task quickly, and while doing so, Yao finds a keychain on the ground. Later, he shows it to Feifei and calls her out for destroying the projects to put the blame on Momo. To save herself, Feifei bribes her friend and makes her take the blame. The next day, the girl appears to sincerely apologize to Momo and the rest of the class for being envious. But as soon as the speech is over, she smugly returns to her desk. Yao doesn't miss a chance to remind Momo that he found the evidence against Feifei. He demands a thank you gift and asks her to make him a barbecue for dinner. They shop together and cook on the university's roof. Yao thinks to himself that this seems like a date, but doesn't say it out loud. Eventually, they have to run away because a guard spots them. At night, both of them can hardly sleep, thinking about each other. Yao even texts Momo, but she stops herself from replying. Yao's friends, on the other hand, are shocked to see their womanizing buddy fall head over heels for someone. In the following class, Feifei gets a text from Mue saying that her designs were selected. Now all she has to do is pass an interview and she will get to intern in the company. At the same time, Momo also gets the same text. This means they will be competing against each other for the position. Momo is confident in her skills, but Feifei is envious and nervous. She makes fun of Momo for not being fashionable enough to work in a fashion company. Xiao assures Momo that she is talented. However, she agrees that Momo should step up on wearing fashionable clothes if she wants to get a job at the fashion house. The next day, Yao gets a hint of this and brings Momo shopping. He claims to be a fashion expert and tells her what clothes would look good on her. At last, they end up getting a beautiful pink dress. When Momo returns to her room, she finds out that Ren has also sent her a gift to wear for the interview. She is confused about which outfit she should wear and eventually lands on Ren's. However, upon reaching the university, she sees that Feifei is wearing clothes identical to hers. The rivalry between them multiplies because of this. Yao notices that Momo isn't wearing the dress he bought and is angry with her. But he finds out from Xiao that she is planning to wear the dress right before the interview, so it won't be dirty. In the following scene, Momo goes to the interview and aces it. Upon being selected, she runs outside and hugs Yao tightly. The next day, the art class requires a man to model for the students. Because the model will get to be closer to Momo, Yao volunteers and sits naked in front of everyone for over an hour. By the end of the class, all the girls are fawning over him, which makes Momo jealous. Then comes the first day of internship at Mue. Both Feifei and Momo were selected, which means they now have to work alongside each other. In the first task they are given, Feifei steals Momo's idea. She even tricks her into going into the fabric storage unit and locks her in. However, Momo manages to make the best of the situation by working inside the storage room and creating a glamorous dress. She leaves her superior impressed, while Feifei fumes in the background. Later that day, Momo finds Yao and Feifei having lunch together. It turns out that Yao's mother wants him to go abroad and wishes Feifei would join him. Feifei has been pressuring him to do as told, but Yao would rather drop out than travel with her. Momo is jealous after seeing Yao with Feifei. So to make up for it, Yao brings her to a fancy restaurant, but they are interrupted by his mother and Feifei. Both women try to attack Momo, calling her a leech, but Yao takes her side and brings her away. They walk back to the uni together and Yao apologizes for his mother's harsh words. Momo is grateful that he isn't like the other snobby rich children, but his mother's comments constantly repeat in her mind. The next day at work, Momo walks away from her workstation. Taking the opportunity, Feifei goes through her laptop and finds out that she is colorblind. Using the information to her advantage, she exchanges a yellow scarf with a green one. Momo doesn't realize this and falls right into Feifei's trap. When the designer comes to check their work, Feifei bluntly asks Momo to reveal which color fabric she just used. In the end, the truth comes out and Momo is called into the lead designer's office. He tells her that her creativity is admirable, but anyone with her disability, he tells her to continue pursuing her dream, but fires her from the job. Outside, Momo meets Yao and tells him everything. When he sympathizes with her, she loses her cool and breaks down crying in his arms. A few days later is the day of an important walk in Mue. The designer urgently needs some fabric, but Feifei is late and stuck in traffic. If she doesn't return to Mue in 10 minutes, she will be fired. In a pinch, Momo comes to help her and saves the day. Feifei thanks her and tells her to follow her dream even though it is no longer associated with Mue. Momo is surprised because this is the first time Feifei has been nice to her. Then she gets a text from Yao asking her to come to the terrace. He has organized a fashion show using the clothes that Momo created. They forget about Mue and have a lot of fun for the night. Since Momo has several clothes with unique designs, they decide to sell it directly off the hangers. They spend the next few days trying to attract customers, but it doesn't work. Then on the third day, Ren comes to the rescue and offers Momo a job in the creative firm of his father's company. Momo doesn't want him to pull strings for her, but when he discloses that it is an internship program, she agrees to work with them. In the next scene, Momo is in a meeting with the developers of the company. They like her innovative ideas, but they want her to take inspiration from other brands. Momo thinks of this as plagiarism and refuses to work with them. Outside, she meets Ren, who also asks her to compromise on such things. The comment angers Momo even more, making her storm off. When Yao finds out about this, he is furious. He thinks Ren played Momo and is ready to get aggressive if he has to. As he is talking to Momo, she gets a text from Ren asking her to come to a club. She goes there to see him completely drunk. He expresses his love for her, but she friend-zones him. Yao arrives there at the right time and tries fighting Ren. Frustrated by them treating her like a kid, Momo also starts to drink. Pretty soon she gets tipsy and has to be carried to the car by Yao. When in the seat, she brings him close and kisses him on the lips. The next morning, Momo wakes up with a shoe in her arms and has no memory of last night. Xiao reveals that she made Yao take off his shoe and declared it a trophy, refusing to return it. Momo is so embarrassed that she hides behind sunglasses and a hat before going to college that day. Meanwhile, Yao is still mad about what Ren's company did to Momo, but the incident gives him an idea for a business venture. He wants to create a mobile application where people can post fashion blogs. They can make a personal wardrobe and use a professional stylist to style the clothes they already have. The stylist is none other than Momo. Later that day, Momo and Xiao are in the library when they are approached by Yao. He asks them to be a part of his venture and brings Momo to the investor. Impressed by the plan, the investor agrees to a deal. Now, all that is left is to create the app. In the evening, everyone meets at Yao's request. He reveals that he has rented a house to establish a startup. Since Momo has a strict schedule to follow in the university's showroom, she can use this place around the clock. Likewise, the others can also work on building the app, and so on. They excitedly enter the building, but find it in shambles. The following day, everyone gathers again to clean and renovate it. Yao takes this opportunity to take Momo on a shopping date to buy couches and other furniture for the office. The two spend the entire day together and return to clean the office at night. The group has worked hard on the place and finally brought their dream to life. Yao decides to name their brand Unique because it reminds him of Momo. The next morning, Yao's friends surround him and pressure him to express his feelings to Momo. Yao also wants to confess, but is too nervous. Somewhere else, Xiao is also urging Momo to do the same. However, Momo is even more nervous than Yao and is unsure if he even likes her. When it gets dark, Yao gets ready for the grand gesture. He has decorated the office and is holding a bouquet of flowers for her. When he hears someone enter the office, he holds out the bouquet in front of him and confesses his love. But to his dismay, it turns out to be his mother. She is happy that he is actually investing his time and money in a business venture rather than having fun. She no longer wants him to go abroad and supports his relationship with Momo. A while later, Momo arrives and hugs Yao. She confesses before he can, and the two start dating. For the next hour, they circle the dormitory to stay together for as long as they can. But then they are interrupted by Ren, who wants to talk to Momo. When Yao expresses that he is Momo's boyfriend, Ren accepts the fact and says that Momo is like a sister to him. In the following montage, we see Yao and Momo going out for ice cream and enjoying their time together. Momo wants to participate in an upcoming fashion show competition, but the recent rejections have damaged her spirit. Yao assures her that she will win if she gives her best. In the following scene, Feifei is in her classroom being accused of plagiarism. It turns out all her designs were stolen from her minion Sia, who was willing to do anything for her. After being outed, her reputation drops and everyone calls her a thief. However, upon investigating, Momo finds out that Sia is the one who stole Feifei's designs because she could never afford the fabrics that she claims are hers. When Momo finds Sia alone the next day, she tricks her into confessing that she stole the design. In the end, Sia has to come clean to everyone, and Feifei's name is cleared. For the next few days, everything goes well. The app progresses at an exceptional rate, and Feifei even apologizes to Momo. But trouble arises when the application gets hacked and someone plagiarizes it. A few days later, Ren posts on social media about a new app that his company is publishing. To everyone's surprise, the app is identical to Unique. Moreover, their investor has also pulled back his investment because of this. A furious Yao goes to Ren and threatens to sue him. However, Ren believes he is just mad that his app failed. In reality, the idea was brought to Ren by a software developer, and he doesn't know that it was plagiarized. The group is sick and tired of being treated unfairly. While they are brainstorming their next move, Yao puts forward an idea to create a game-like format in the app so the target audience would be different than before. They work on the idea and publish a newly formed app. Meanwhile, Ren finds out about the plagiarism and fires his software developer. He is regretful about the way he treated Yao and wants to give his team the proper credit they deserve. In the next few days, Yao's app does great and enters the mainstream market. They finally make progress and start making money. Yao and Ren also sign a contract where Yao is given the credit for the former app that Ren is still developing. Then comes the day of the fashion competition. Momo is nervous, but since her model is her boyfriend, it gives her a hint of motivation. She remembers the time she saw a girl painting a pink sea because it is the color she liked. Taking that moment as inspiration, she makes a beautiful outfit for Yao. She eventually wins the competition, proving her worth. In the end, she gets on the stage and tells everyone to not let their disabilities hold them back in life.